it's always funny because I always think to myself, man, if people would only know all the things that almost happened, or all the things that were supposed to happen, or were supposed to be, or directions or pitches and all that stuff. And, that makes it cool. It's never as clear cut as people think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And having that knowledge from being in the company for 45 years is where I get a lot of satisfaction and a lot of like peace of mind.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, it's true. It's like you are now, no matter what, you're at least set up on a better course for the experience that you've gained, more of the notoriety that comes now with the name Tommy End for you.
Yep.
I mean, we're not going under Aleister Black anymore, but everyone understands that that's how we go here in the wrestling world. And we make these changes, and your fan base understands that and everything. But so what are some of these circumstances of things that could have been and things that were about to happen? What are some of those?
So one of the cool pitches for me was that for a moment when I had the match with AJ, one of the things that leading up to WrestleMania was that during the end of my match with AJ, Undertaker appeared and helped me, save me, stop the beat down that the Good Brothers gave me. One of the pitches was that at WrestleMania, it was going to be the other way around. So it was AJ and Taker, and one of the pitches was that towards the end of that match, the Good Brothers would come out, or something to that extent, and I would be the one to help Taker. And I always thought that was like, the fact that they even considered that was like, wow, you know what I mean? It was very cool. One of the other things that was always very cool is that Heyman's idea was to have either Samoa Joe or Brock Lesnar come into the room at the time. And we like
when you were doing those promos in the back, you mean?
Yes. So the thing was, they were supposed to progress. Obviously, they never progressed. They always stayed the same, which is one of my biggest regrets, because I always wanted them to be much more than they were. I wanted them to have different verbiage and to kind of like expand. And I did what I could with them, which is, very minimal. And Heyman fought tooth and nail for it. But at the end of the day, there's like, obviously, if there's a no, there's a no. You can't argue the no all the time. And one of the things that we set course out to do was eventually having an interaction between either me or Brock Lesnar or Samoa Joe, that would send where I would cut this promo room, and Lesnar would just come through this from the darkness and would just choke me out and stuff like that. And it would set up something similar to that. But again, the people have to understand that these are pitches. This is not a set in stone thing. This is the course we're planning. These are all ideas that people are having, and courses that we're plotting and planning. They pan out. They might not pan out. They might sometimes towards the end of where you're going with the pitch and the pitch is being used, towards the end of it, they decide to go take a 180 instead of like going this way. They're going to go that way, and they're going to go different routes. And I'm sure that if I sit on it for a while, like more things will pop into my head in terms of like things that were supposed to be. But yeah, the company is full of surprises. I think it's definitely
one way to put it.
That's one way of putting it. Yeah. For good and bad, it's full of surprises. But like I said, like I don't really have a lot of things that I have to complain about. Again, there's been super negative things, and obviously my ending with the company is very questionable, But I know why, and maybe one day we'll talk about that. But right now, it's just not that time. It's not something I want to focus on. But it's been good. It's been really, really good these last 2 or 3 days. Like the feedback's been great. Me and my wife started documenting basically like every day. We kind of like see documents. Like we'll do a little bit of a journal, and building back up to getting into the ring with other places, other promotions, other companies, and we're just kind of like taking it step by step and day by day, and kind of like turning that into a little documentary.
Great. I mean, that's a great way to sort of utilize your time. And It is, I think just like mentally processing everything that's going on. I mean, I'm sure there's so many different ups and downs, and sometimes it's hard to kind of get a firm grasp on even how you feel, because something like that comes out of left field that you're so unprepared for. You can only handle it to whatever capacity that you're able to do that. I mean, I'm sure that that's got to be difficult, of just sort of managing, like staying positive about things, but also, I guess, just dealing with the reality of what happened and have it be so unexpected.
I think what helps and has helped, there's two things. The support, the continue, because even now there's like a lot of people that are still reaching out. Actually, right before I got on, Edge called me. I couldn't pick up because I was literally getting into this. But there's been such a reaction. There's been such a reaction and an ongoing reaction on my release that it made it bearable. I think being released is one thing, but if you're being released and there was literally no response to your release, I feel that's very, very, very bleak, very dark, and I think that can get into your head. But because there's been such an outpour of support from friends, colleagues, family, and fans, most importantly, it's helped. And one of the things that also really helped is that I have spoken to a lot of like higher ups, even the person that I initially had on the phone to have the conversation, and they're all kind of like, they don't understand it. I think throughout the entire company there's okay, but why him? And it's a good feeling people care, and it's a good feeling that like the perception that you have as to, okay, but why am I being let go, is shared by many high up in the company that are like very close to the main boss, and that gives comfort.